Hello, it's Toby. I'm in the process of working on a terminal-based UI framework, which I plan to use to build the next iteration of the terminal-based time travel debugger. Just very recently, I once again have access to a time traveling debugger in Python, which I have been able to whip into shape just enough so I can do this work. And doing this has been very interesting. So I'm just gonna do my thing, and I'll narrate what I'm doing as I see fit. So right now, what I'm working on is I'm debugging an issue. I'm working on here's a text label and here's a text field. I'm currently working on perfecting this text field in the way that it works. I can use the arrow keys to move the cursor around, and I just implemented the part that makes the text shift when your cursor is moving too far to the right or to the left. Right now the bug I'm working on is there's this extra space here, which I don't expect that to be here. So I'll show that one more time. I'll reproduce it one more time. So if I type hello comma world, and then I do right arrow, now there's this extra space at the end right here to the left of the arrow, which I don't expect. So what I'm gonna do is fire up my debugger like that, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump to the end of the program, and that's done with the keystroke E. And then from the end, this is the start at the end technique I talked about in one of my R videos. So in this debugger you can do the same thing. You jump to the end of the program and then you step backwards in time. And then what I'm gonna do from here is actually I'm gonna jump to this point of interest in my source code, and I'm gonna say go backwards until you hit this line. And the point of interest is this code here. I'm working on this text field, and I'm interested in whenever I have a key press event in my text field object. So I'm gonna jump backwards and go backwards in time, reverse time until I hit this line, and the control I use to do that is right click. So I right click on this line and I reverse in time until I hit this line, and I see that in the state of the object there's an extra space. So my text is represented as a Python list of characters, and at the end there's an extra unwanted space that I think that's in error. It shouldn't be there. So what I could do now is I can keep doing the same thing. I can keep reversing in time until I hit this line. I know this is the method of interest because all of the modifications to the state regarding this text field happen inside this key press event at the moment. So I'm going to reverse time until I hit this line again. I'm going to do it until this space goes away, and then I can examine sort of the exact instruction that caused this space to get inserted. Another thing I could do, by the way, is I actually in a separate terminal showing the display of the screen at a previous point and at the exact moment in time that we're on this line. Okay, you can actually see this display update as I'm doing this. So I'm going through, in a sense, I'm going through the individual key presses that are being pressed, and then causing us to go into this key press handler. I'm gonna keep going backwards in time until the next time I hit this line. And what I'm actually looking for is for this space to go away. the D went away. I go forward in time, I see the D, and then the empty space. I go backwards in time, the D went away, but this space, this pesky space is still there. So I actually want to go back in time until I don't see an extra space. Interestingly, there is no point in time where I don't see that. The moment I hit, well, okay, initially I actually deleted the words magic from the text field. So I go backwards, forwards. And next time I hit H, it actually resulted in putting in 2 extra spaces. Okay, so I'm gonna investigate why that happened. So this is the key press H. I'm going into this else statement here. This text.extend the new chars. What are the new chars? The new chars is a space. So this is responsible for adding 1 space. Okay. Oh, I see. I think this is no longer needed. This inserting of the spaces. This calculating a bunch of spaces to add to the string. This used to be needed, but after I made a change to insert, because this code used to be self.text, self.cursor equals event key. So this code is trying to make room in the list for this statement to be valid, so that this is a valid index. But now I've changed the code to insert, which will sort of automatically make space. So which means I don't think I need this anymore. So I'm gonna retest this program. So I'm gonna do more or less the same thing. Yep, and that bug is gone now. Perfect. Okay, so this text field looks to work pretty well. Hello world. Oh, that might have been a bug. Let me try to reproduce that. Oh. Okay. Okay, I think I know where the bug is. So let's say this is the string that the text field holds, and then within the text, then there's actually a limited width that's visible, and then there's a cursor. So this is all of the text, let's say, and maybe it's hello exclamation point. So this is the visible part. And we also have a cursor, which is a reference to the index that currently has that cursor on it. And the cursor can be to the right of the actual string. So it's possible for the cursor to be here, but this is not that case. The cursor is here. And if we delete when the cursor is the first position in the visible space, I think we see this bug. That's when we see this bug. So I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna type magic world. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to here. After I delete, what I should expect is, I guess the cursor should still be on the screen after the delete, but that's not the case. And then the second problem is it was the I that got deleted. not the previous character. I think the previous character should have gotten deleted. So let's debug that. Again, I'm going to jump to the end of the program and then step in reverse. Let me see. Okay, so we are here. And we can probably see that right after this happens, then the bug occurs. So this is good. See, this is draw. Before the draw, we are looking over here. Before the draw, it looks like this. After the draw, it looks like that, which is the bug. So I guess the correct thing it should have done is more like, maybe it should have deleted the thing before the I. I don't even know what should happen. Like, hello world. If I had the cursor go to the beginning like this and I hit delete. Okay, so I shouldn't see any visual change, but I should know that the string is being edited. Okay, so visually this should not have changed, but it did. And also the change in state should have been before the key press. And let me verify the key press. Key press is the delete key press. So before the key press, it was magic world, and since we're our position of the cursor is on this I, and we should have deleted this G from the equation. Is that what happened? Let's see. That is true. We did delete G from the position, and that's good. But the thing that is wrong is that where we ended up. So we should have ended up with, I guess, a cursor. The cursor should have subtracted by 1. I think that did happen. It's 3 now. So 0, 1, 2, 3. No, the cursor should be 2, I think. Oh, but we haven't stepped over this line yet. Okay, now cursor is 2. The thing that is wrong is the offset, I think. The offset needs to, the offset is currently 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. The offset should be updated to be I, so that we still see I in the picture after the deletion, but the offset has been left at 3, which is why we the next time we paint, we start the display of the string at 3, which is the C. So we want to update the offset to be 2, so we can again print the I. And I believe the cursor, just to double check, the cursor is 2, which is correct. So we just need to update the offset. So basically after the delete key has been pressed, we need to update, in addition to the cursor getting updated, we need to update the offset as well. In what case do we need to do that? If the cursor is 2, in this case, if the cursor is less than the offset, I think that's the case. If the cursor is less than offset, then I'm going to set the offset to the cursor so that you can actually see the cursor. Yeah, so the offset is at the cursor, which has been decreased to 2, pointing at I. Yeah, I think that's the fix. So I'm going to do magic world, and then I'll go here and going to delete. I don't see any visual indication, but we're actually deleting. And if I go left with the arrow, I say mic world. Great. Okay, this looks good now.